React to what SoFaygo could have been. Okay. What SoFaygo could have been? They're gonna say, if he signed Opium, he would be huge right now. Honestly, though, if he signed Opium, it would have already given him a huge head start when it comes to hype. And if he didn't, like, with the same circumstances, as in he did not drop Pink Hearts for a while after Me, it would have been okay, because the Opium artists are allowed to delay. You know what I mean? Just because they have that Cardi backup dancer hype where he's like, ah! Like what Lenara was just doing. For the people who weren't here for that part, you won't get that. But, you know, so maybe that's true. But Travis Scott is a bigger artist technically than Cardi. So I guess the threshold that you can get to and the connections, it's just different audiences that you're marketing to.
SoFaygo was the next artist on the come up and seemed to be the face of the new SoundCloud era. But now with a disappointing album and going MIA with the rise of his career, it seems that SoFaygo has fallen off the map.
This editing is crazy. What?
Stage Fighter. Step into the ring. Choose your fighter. Playboy Cardi. Little Uzi Vert.
I'm telling you, Uzi needs to sign some artists, bro.
Destroy Lonely. SoFaygo. You've chosen SoFaygo. Fight.
True. He would have fit the aesthetic so well, especially because he didn't really get, like, he had pink hair, but he also could rock blonde hair in one of his eras, and he was wearing black at one point with like his little spider web click or whatever it's called. So it could have fit. It could have fit. Like, people thinking SoFaygo is just only on the light side, but he was dark at one point.
SoFaygo's music started gaining traction in 2019 and early 2020. His music was completely different from his competitors in the underground rap scene. With his buzzy, raw, and hyper-energetic subgenre of hip-hop, SoFaygo has been known as the creator of a new music genre that dominated the year of 2021, called Rage. SoFaygo had 2021 in a chokehold, Knock Knock being the biggest song on TikTok, getting a Lyrical Lemonade video, and getting signed to Travis Scott's label Cactus Jack. Everything was perfect.
True, he really dropped the ball, man.
He was the next big thing, and many people compared him as this generation's Little Uzi Vert. Artists like Trippie Redd and Playboy Cardi being the main front of promoting and dominating this genre, and even arguably having the biggest rap song of 2021 with Miss the Rage.
I can't see a damn thing,
and with the rise of Rage,
I don't know about biggest rap song, because I think there are songs that outstreamed that, but yeah, I mean, like, in this genre, yeah.
Trippie Redd went to release a full Rage album called Trip at Night. This had artists like Juice WRLD, Ski Mask, Triple X, Lil Uzi, Playboy Cardi, Polo G, Lil Durk, and even Drake, all over Rage beats. But yet the first featured artist on the project was SoFaygo. So while SoFaygo's genre was peaking and was starting to get mainstream attention, his debut album wasn't getting released. Why? Well, this could have been because of his label Cactus Jack and how previous years they haven't been able to contain rising artists like Sheck West or Smoke Perp, but could also be that Faygo put his music to the side once he gained fame. You start getting all that attention and money and think you can just sit around and let indie music be anticipated from a long span of time. And while this is a case,
I think that's what it was, man. I don't think it had to do with Travis, because he had plenty of time to drop. I mean, like, as soon as he signed to Travis, he should have just like dropped something being like, yo, what's up? Like prove that I signed to Travis, you know, like come out with a bang. And then once you get like a solidified studio album or EP or whatever it is, maybe get a Travis Scott feature or something. And I know you want to build them up before you have to use the feature as a backup plan, but bro, he just waited too long regardless of what happened with Astrofest.
for a lot of artists, we don't see this for musicians early in their career. Successful artists capitalize on their music to grow their following and recognition early in their music career, so later they can sit back and enjoy themselves. But Faygo wasn't on that level yet. He wasn't a Playboy Cardi, Frank O.
I also think it's smart for artists to strike the iron while it's hot, because we see this with a lot of artists. In 3 to 5 years, they're not as popular anymore. They're not as relevant. Why? Because their sound is old. So why not drop like 5 projects while your sound is still relevant? Because you don't necessarily have to evolve it, because the next time that you alter your sound or progress it, people might not like it as much. And that's what's happening with a ton of artists, including potentially SoFaygo. So it would have been smart, instead of just do 1 project per sound like Playboi Carti, do like 3 to 5, such as like Yeat, and that look at his numbers.
Ocean, or even a Kendrick Lamar that could just wait, and that's what had people turning on him. And by the end of 2021, there was no album to be seen, and rage music was dying out and evolving. And while music is always evolving,
and he was arguably one of the creators of rage music, and then he didn't even drop an album in rage. I get that he wants to like be different, but man, it's a music business, as I always say. You gotta own that shit. When you're a creator of something, you gotta say, I was one of the owners, I was one of the creators. Here's a project to prove that, and then I'm gonna work on the next sound, kind of like Carti does.
I think a big part of the reason why rage music evolved so early was due to Playboi Carti's whole lot of rap.
Never too much. Never too much.
For sure.
And while most people didn't enjoy the project at first, including myself,
It's ass. Playboi Carti's ass.
this album turned out to be a revolutionary, genre-bending project that changed rage and rap music and inspired a new generation of rappers. Carti's rage music was a mixture of electronic, punk, and rap music. And while this sound was dominating the underground scene, Carti went on to create his own label called Opium. Artists like Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely were instantly put in the spotlight. Rappers that are complete Carti clones with different characteristics that set them apart. With Carti
Like alter egos.
never being the spotlight,
I don't think Lone's a Carti clone. I don't think Ken is either. Although Ken definitely like is a more, I don't know, just a different version.
this had his cult following of a fan base become hungry for new music.
Lone is like the dark essence of Carti. Ken is like a electronic version with the beats, just way more concentrated into that side of rage. Lone isn't rage at all.
Listening to artists in Opium was a way that fans could be entertained, and with this, the artists started to make a cult following of their own. So with the obsession of Opium, what if SoFaygo wasn't signed to Cactus Jack, but was signed to Opium to fit the music style he originally created? And while I do think artists like Destroy Lonely, Ken Carson, and Homicide Gang wouldn't get the attention if they weren't signed, wouldn't this boost SoFaygo even more?
But Faygo doesn't even fit the Opium image.
That's the point. The Lil Uzi comparison and Uzi being tied in the same fan base as Playboi Carti, wouldn't SoFaygo bring a bit of a light to the group and a different energy? Because one thing these artists have in common is the aesthetic that they bring with their rare grunge look. But even if Faygo remained the same or changed his style, he would easily be the second biggest artist in the group. And he would have collabs like SoFaygo and Ken Carson that would feel a bit of an underground version of Playboi Carti and Lil Uzi Vert if they were rage.
I'm sure Carti wanted to sign SoFaygo. It's just that SoFaygo was already big. Like SoFaygo didn't sign until after Off the Map. So he could ask for any deal he wanted. So that's why like Carti, he's not gonna throw the bag like that. Why does he need to do that when he can literally take Homicide Gang, which, you know, they weren't even really known artists at all, and sign them for, I mean, I'm not going to say they're in a slave contract because they're probably homies, but yo, he didn't have to throw M's or 500K or whatever Travis gave SoFaygo, you know?
Part of the reason Faygo got so much hate is for the fact that he was always in the spotlight. Nike commercials, interviews, appearing on Aiden Ross's stream. He was doing so many things at once, but wasn't dropping music. So where am I going with this? Well, it's the fact that if he was signed to Opium, he could wait and anticipate bigger things from
what I'd say at the beginning, bro.
Not talking. Take this for example. Faygo goes and drops a small project in mid-2021, then goes on tour with Playboi Carti. Headliners have this being a highly anticipated tour, and when it comes down to it actually happening, Faygo only shows up for 7 of the shows. whole rap scene is going to be saying, where's Faygo? Faygo's missing. He won't be posting on Instagram, not tweeting, not Snapchatting. His whole social media will be gone and confiscated by Playboi Carti.
Give me a phone, Faye. They go hyphen the press beat. Yeah, Opium, Cardi.
He decides not to open social media till the end of 2021 or early 2022. Then he starts teasing a few songs, then disappears. Ken Carson, Destroy Lonely, Homicide Gang released their albums, and finally at the end of 2022, near Christmas, SoFaygo pops up on social media, tweeting out that his project might be coming, then it finally drops. Now, this is definitely some alternate universe type shit, and this is definitely just a what if, and I'm not saying SoFaygo needed Opium to have a successful music career. All he had to do was drop. So let's say Cactus...
Look, I've been dropping videos. We've been talking about this on stream. Everybody, I've been getting DMs, people hitting me up like, yo, why are you only hating on Faygo? I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to hate on Faygo. I'm just trying to say, yo, drop the music. That's all he needs to do.
Jack is the reason he couldn't drop. He had the whole underground scene biting and experimenting off his sound. People like Can, Coach Eyes, DC the Dawn, The Holiday,
Coach Ice,
Young Fayzo. And while those artists are doing well, SoFaygo has always had the edge and it was a bigger artist even without dropping. But there was one artist that was on the rise during the same time as Faygo.
Who is it? It rhymes with skeet.
He had the rage element to his music, but the only difference was he took the advantage of the opportunity that SoFaygo had. 2 years ago, they were both highly compared in the underground scene. But now this artist in 2 years has managed to be the 41st most streamed artist last year. One number under Ariana Grande. And this artist is still considered to be underground. He has completely dominated the charts and has the most trending sounds on TikTok ever. Yeat is everything SoFaygo was supposed to be.
That must hurt, man. That hurts. That gotta hurt. He probably got Yeat blocked on like the actual Instagram page that he uses, or the Twitter. He mutes probably on Twitter like Yeat. He don't want to see anything about that name.
Get like this, you wish the bitch.
Yo, that was a fire video, bruh. What does this guy do? Yeah, he killed it. Shout out him. Shout out bro. Shout out bro. Not gonna lie, Bob's on Faygo's payroll. I wish. Somebody gotta put me on their payroll. Nah, most of the money I get's on like commission based.